All right, total it up for the day. Please pass them to Patrick. Just toss them in a pile. You're so good at it, Patrick. It's a real talent. All right, here we go. If you have your notebook, hi, I'm doing sensation today and perception, and you guys are awful at it. Also happen to fall in the middle of a hurricane. So you're going to need me more than I need you, and some of you said this was one of your worst sections. So that's what I'm doing today. We need to move. So today what is happening is everyone should have on their desk, if you have your notebook, is week 5 and 6. That happens to be sensation and perception. Everyone should have a whiteboard ready to go. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to reteach something, and then we're going to do whiteboards on top of it. Every single one of you needs to spend time going back through this. Sensation and perception is about 7% of your exam. This also happened to fall during a hurricane on top of all the other factors of just time. So please make sure you are doing everything you need to do to be successful. You have a test on Friday on sensation and perception, states of consciousness, and learning. That being said, my responsibility is to create a format of review that's structured. Give you opportunities to see what you know and what you don't know, and help support you and give you tools in order to do it. I'm doing my part. You have to do your part. If you don't know it, you have to spend extra time going through it. I don't know why it does this. Why it wiggles. It drives me insane. The screen, Maya. All right, here we go. So let's just go through it super quick together. Then I'm going to ask you some whiteboard questions. Here we go. So the outside of your ear is known as the pinna. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the pinna is responsible for? T. Yeah, it funnels sound into your auditory canal. And then it eventually hits your eardrum. Of course, here in AP Seg, we call it the tympanic membrane. What does the tympanic membrane do? What does it do, Elijah?
It vibrates.
Okay, hold on. So, with the auditory waves or the sound waves being funneled in, once it hits your tympanic membrane, it starts like a vibration. That vibration is then going to move the smaller bones located just behind your tympanic membrane. And so those sound waves are going to create a physical movement of that tympanic membrane vibrating, and that physical movement is going to be converted into a mechanical movement with the oscilles moving. When the oscilles are moving, it's pulling in and out on the outer window, on the oval window. With that pulling in and out, what is inside the cochlea? So we have sound waves, we have mechanical motion, and now we have what, Christina?
Cilia.
Cilia, and that cilia is sitting in a pool of what?
Fluid.
Fluid, mucus. So when that oval window gets pushed and pulled open and closed, that mucus is moving. And every time that mucus moves, the cilia move. And every time, so inside your cochlea, you have the basilar membrane. The basilar membrane has little cilia attached to it. So every time that little cilia moves, it sends a neural impulse. It creates a neural impulse and sends it into your basilar membrane. Your basilar membrane then sends it down your auditory nerve, then it sends it to your temporal lobe, and then to your auditory cortex. So transduction actually occurs at the basilar membrane. The basilar membrane happens to be located in the cochlea. Who can raise your hand and tell me what transduction is? What is transduction? Someone other than Elijah and T. Maddie. Very good. Thank you very much. So anything that's external, if I opened up your brain and started shouting at your brain, would that help it process? No, because it's external stimuli, not a neural impulse. Transduction is the process of taking that external stimulus, converting it into a neural impulse, and that's what we can process. All right. So keep in mind, your ear is broken into 3 sections. The pinna, auditory canal, and tympanic membrane are all part of your outer ear. Your oscilles, which are made up of your anvil, your hammer, and your stirrup, are an oval window, are all part of your middle ear. Then your cochlear basilar membrane, where transduction occurs, auditory nerve, temporal lobe, and auditory cortex are located in your inner ear. Now, a fun little fact about your ear that has nothing to do with you processing sound is the semicircular canals. What is the semicircular canals? Alyssa, in charge of? They are balance, absolutely. So, say for instance, you get water in your ear. Every single person in this house, every single person in this room has gotten water in their ear, and it feels like your head is so heavy, right? Like, oh my God, it's so heavy. That's just because it's so close to the semicircular canals. Okay. All right, to the boards. Let's go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when an external stimuli is converted from an external to a neural impulse, which our body can actually process? Good. What is it? Patrick? Transduction. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are the 3 smallest bones in your body? They are the ones that are converting sound waves into mechanical movement. Come on. I have my little diagram up there. Everyone should have it in front of you. What are they, Gabriel? Perfect. On your whiteboard, please tell me, where does transduction specifically occur? Good. What is it, Kristen? Basilar membrane is located in what in your ear? Your basilar membrane is located in what in your ear? Good. Maddie. Cochlea. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the fancy term for eardrum? What is it, Abigail? Tympanic membrane. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what actually creates neural impulses? What actually creates the neural impulse? What wiggles? The neural impulse. Good. What is it, David? Cilia. There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is, right now, I can walk straight without falling over because my balance is good. What part of my brain is allowing me to have good balance? I actually do have very good balance. I can carry very heavy trays without dropping them. What is it, Elijah? There you go. How do we feel about the ear? We're okay? All right, here we go. Eye. Easy peasy's right. Here we go. So, first stages of the eye. So, first thing is the cornea. Now, the cornea is the outer layer of your eye. When you put contacts on, you're touching your cornea, or you're putting them directly onto your cornea. It's simply there to protect your eye, provides like a little glass layering. So the light goes into the cornea and goes into the pupil. The pupil is actually a what? It's a hole. It's actually nothing. It's a hole, and it's surrounded by the iris, which is the colored part. The iris, who can raise your hand and tell me what the iris actually is? What is the iris actually, Jackson? It's an actual muscle. So it is opening and closing your pupil. What is it called when it is super, super small? So here's my eye normally. And now, because this is what a cat eye look like, and this is, my cats are always in the window, so they always have really small pupils. What do we call that, Alyssa? No, that's the opposite. Oh, constricted. Now, when you have constricted eyes, okay, they're really, really small pupils. Why? What type of conditions are you in if you have really small pupils? What do you got, Morgan? Highlight, absolutely. So when my cats are sitting in direct sunlight and staring out the window for hours or rolling around because of how nice the sun is, they have really constricted eyes. What is it called when it's really big, Alyssa? Dilated eyes. And what type of conditions do we have dilated eyes, Gabriel? When it's dark. Why do we have really big pupils when it's dark? to get as much light in so we can get as much on our retina. So the pupil is important for the fact that it talks about how much light is getting in and out, which of course is controlled by the iris. So light goes into the cornea, into the pupil, which is surrounded by the iris, and into the lens. Now the lens is what flips it upside down, and it's also sharpening the image. At this point, you've all experienced eye fatigue reading maybe your parents' book. Okay, and your eyes like kind of hurt. They're kind of like scratchy, right? That scratchiness, that kind of achy part of your eyes is because your lens is constantly adjusting itself to read, especially if you're switching from like your phone to reading to looking at the computer, and you're doing that a ton, just switching between. You're really going to strain your eyes, and it's going to like actually cause like a little bit of pain. It's not like going to hurt, but it's like kind of uncomfortable. That's because the lens is constantly adjusting back and forth, and that's to sharpen the image. What, Gabriel? No. I'm waiting.
Okay. You watch TV for like 5 hours before bed.
Relaxing, or at least. Okay. Okay.
Your
What?
eyes are irritated.
Isn't it what like focuses?
Yes, it's the focus. It's sharpening the image. So, cornea to pupil, surrounded by the iris, goes into the lens. Now, the lens is sharpening the image so it can perfectly hit your fova. Your fova, Max, is located on your retina. With that being said, it is super sharp. It needs to be super sharp when it hits there, which is why the lens is constantly adjusting. If you have 20/20 vision, raise your hand if you have 20/20 vision. You have wonderful vision. How awesome for you genetically. What it means is the light comes all the way through and like kisses your retina. It's perfect. It's wonderful. If you are farsighted, which means you can see far away but you can't see clear. Anyone here farsighted? They can see far away but can't see near? No one? Cool. Okay. Well, for those poor souls who have that, which is also me, the light ends about here and never touches your fova. Never touches it. So their eyeballs are too long. Now, if you're like me and you are nearsighted, so I can see things near but I can't see things far, the light comes in and smashes through the back of my retina, and I can't see. It smashes through because my eyeballs are too short. Okay? So, fova is the focal point. Now, on your retina, which is where transduction occurs, we have photoreceptors. Now, your photoreceptors are ganglion cells, bipolar cells, rods, and cones. Now, each of them have a process. You do need to know that rods process what type of light? Rods process black and white. Cones do color. C for color, cones color. So, the light goes in, hits the ganglion, then the bipolar, then the rods and cones, and then the information is actually transmitted to your retina. Then that neural impulse is then sent down your retina into your optic nerve. Now, you also have a blind spot located where the optic nerve hits the retina. It means no information that is seen there is processed because it's not hitting a retina, it's hitting the nerve. Cool? All right, let's do it. I know. To the boards. Yes. It's all of your photoreceptors. Retina is for. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is another name for a focal point or the perfect place for light to hit on your retina. What is it? Kristen? Fovea. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when, please tell me what flips the image upside down and also sharpens it to make it easier to see. Max? Lens. On your whiteboard, please tell me what do we call ganglion cells, bipolar cells, and rods and cones? They're not the retina. We call them what when they're grouped together? I got 1, 2, 3. Good. JR, what is it?
Photoreceptors.
On your whiteboard, photoreceptors process the light. However, transduction actually occurs on the what? Good. Good. What is it, Valentina? Retina is where it actually occurs. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the colored muscle in your eye? Mine happens to be blue. What is it, Maddie? And what color are your irises? Nice. On your whiteboard, please tell me what we're going to talk about irises. Yes. What's wrong with blue eyes? She has lovely blue eyes.
No, I know, but you're not. Yeah, I just am jealous.
What color are yours?
Green.
Green. Green's nice. Green's nice.
What's wrong with the color?
What color are your eyes,
Mine
Valentina?
are green.
Oh, okay. What's wrong with that? Green is unique.
What's wrong with you then?
Green is raw. Thank you, Gabriel.
Thanks.
On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when the eye, when the pupil is super, super, super small? Christina. Constricted. What is it called when it's super big? In the middle of the night, if you go out and play manhunt during the summer, what is it, Maya? Dilated. On your whiteboard, please tell me, when you if you touch your eyeball right now, you're actually touching the what? No. That'd be so weird. You'd have to like peel things back, cut things, stick them in there. What is it, Alexis? Cornea. There you go. What?
With LASIK, what are you messing with?
You're messing with the lens, which is why they cut underneath your cornea. They cut your cornea and they like pull it back. And then what they do is they take a little stick and they massage the iris, and so it's as big as it can be. And then they take a little knife and they like cut the iris. They cut the lens. And but they have to get in there first. You can't just stick a laser in there.
How does it stimulate?
So the iris.
I don't know. You have to Google that, but that's all I know.
So you have like laser vision.
I'll look you up a little bit now.
Alright, here we go. So, what I want to look at now, this is from week 6, I believe, or 7. The next second week is this worksheet that I did with you, just all principles. This stuff, I think, personally, is the hardest stuff.
You're hands down your best Just want to let you
Thank you, Gabriel.
Your favorite class, Gabriel?
Yeah, like I know it's his favorite fucking fly that he wants them, but I know it
Wait, did we do
Here we
this?
go. This is like week 6 or 7. There you go, week 7. So, if you look at this sheet, first of all, these are the Gestalt principles, okay? Proximity is that we assume that because these dots are together, these dots are close, these dots are close, that we see 3 different images, that they're there together. A real life example is, I assume because I only see you with these people, these are your only friends. Does that make sense? Because I see that Avery and Maddie sit together, I assume Avery and Maddie are best friends, ride or die, hang out every weekend. Am I accurate? Wow, that was way more awkward than it needed to be. Similarity is when you have things that are close, either by color or matching, that we tend to group them together. So if a bunch of people showed up wearing whale shirts today, I would assume that they all planned their outfits. Does that make sense? Or all of you wearing Converse shoes. All of those kids organized it today. Closure is when our brain fills in the gaps in order to see an image. So all of these are just random dashes, but our brain sees it as a or a triangle, and that's closure. Continuity is when we try to look at things as simple as possible. So, for instance, the 2 lines coming together, we would say it's almost like they're making a X. These ones are, the X is separating, and I don't know what you would say. Anyway. Continuity is when you have 2 things that are paired up to each other, you assume it's coming from the origin. For instance, perfect example of this is a ventriloquist. When you see the mouth moving, but the doll is obviously not saying anything, but you hear the guy's voice or girl's voice doing the doll, you then tie them together saying, oh, look, the doll's talking. When a ventriloquist is speaking, who are you watching? We're watching the doll, but who's the one doing all the damn talking? The dude or the chick. Let's be inclusive here. Whoever's doing the damn doll is doing it. There you go. So that's your DeSalt principles. Okay. Now I do want to talk about monocular cues, please. Now, what is a monocular cue? Who can tell me? T. Yeah. So if you lost your eye in a tragic pirate fight, you could still see all these things. So linear perspective is that when it goes off into the distance and all that stuff, it looks like the road's disappearing. Relative size, things that are close to you look bigger, things that are far away look small. Okay, overlap is things that I can see the whole image of, must be closer to me than things that I can only see a partial piece of. How much time do I have? Okay, good. Then aerial is that if it has a haziness to it, it must be far away. Texture gradient, the closer I am to something, the more detail I have. Like from where you sit, I am wearing a lovely white shirt with blue stripes. But if you look super close, you will see the pattern of my clothes. You will see that there is an actual crisscross pattern in it. Motion parallax, this is when you look straight ahead while you're driving, everything's coming at you at a very slow and predictable rate. But if you ever look out the window, it looks like there's like a murder of trees going by, right? It's going by so fast. What it looks like. With the sun, no? Okay, never mind. Accommodation is when your eye muscles respond to looking at objects close or far away, so they kind of like squeeze in, squeeze out. And then binocular cues, which means how many eyes? 2. Convergence. Do we need to do this together? It was really intimate the last time. Was it too intimate? When you stare at someone while they go like that and you can feel your eyes turning, it kind of hurts my head. Okay, and then binocular disparities, because your eyes are actually separated by a couple centimeters, they actually see things differently, and that's kind of that overlap. And that's the kind of jumping of the finger, how sometimes if you do it close enough, you have to do it close enough to the edge of your nose. You can see you have 2 fingers at a time because both eyes are seeing it. Yes, that's it. You have to, what? Wow. You look stupid. Darling, I was just doing the same thing. You look stupid when you're doing it, but you can feel it, correct? You literally just watched me sit up here and do it. So if I'm stupid, you're stupid. But we're better off for it. I'll help you remember. All right, to the boards. Here we go. What is it called when you only need one eye to see? Good. What is it, Maya? Monocular cue on your whiteboard. What is it called when I can see a bunch of teachers today are wearing pink shirts from the softball team, so they all must be friends. And I have one which I'm going to put on during lunch today, so I look like I have friends. How exciting. What is it, Valentino? Similarity. What is it called when back there Elijah looks small, but when Elijah gets closer to me, he's humongous? You look big back there, I just want you to know. Do I look big back there? No. Shit. Huh? It's hot.
She wore a scarf like last week.
I know, I wear one of these once a week. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I'll break one out tomorrow for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it, Avery?
Relative size.
Relative size. What is it called that you can see my Germex, my Copacabana coconut Germex in front of my face? You can see all of this, but you can't see all my face, so this must be in front of my face, which means it's closer. What is it, David? Overlap. What is it called when, what is it called when I assume these are your only friends because I only see you talking to these people? Good. What is it, Ella?
Proximity.
Proximity. On your whiteboard, please tell me. What is it called when your eyes tilt together to see things that come up close? I'm hungry. I already had a snack today. I already ate half my lunch. not going to go well. What is it, Max? Convergence. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called when... Yes. Stop it. Please tell me, what is it called when I'm looking ahead while I'm driving? Everything's coming slowly, but out the side it looks like we're going a bajillion miles per hour. Good. What is it? What is it? Kristen? Motion parallax. Perfect. All right. You guys seem like you're doing okay. Are we?
I thought my nose was smell that, was that it?
All right, here we go. So this is the study guide that I essentially gave to you during that week. So your study guide probably has the exact same things I have done because we did it essentially together because this was during hurricane week. So, pain gate. Who can explain pain gate theory to me? Oh gosh. Ella.
It's when you get hurt during like really intense situations and you don't feel it.
Perfectly said. Yeah. So if you're getting chased by a bear and you jump over a log and you shatter your knee, but you get up. What?
It was like a mama bear and 2 cubs and these dudes on the trail and it's first sign. No, he didn't. He took a whole video. He was like walking backwards and like this big ass bear was behind him, like just following him. And there's 2 cubs and he was scared out of his mind.
Oh my god, that would be the most terrifying things.
This is what you through bears, don't you?
I don't go anywhere where a bear would be.
You say you
I'm not a nature girl, no.
You talk about them so much.
Alright, so if a bear was chasing you and you shattered your knee jumping over a log, and there was a bear eating you, coming to eat you alive and shred you, just straight up shred your innards. You wouldn't feel your knee shattered. You would just keep on like pogoing down, like trying to get away. And then once you were in a safe location, you'd be like, ah, my knee, and then you wouldn't be able to move. So perceptual constancy is the tendency to perceive certain things away because previous experiences. We deal with this all the time. When you come into my room, if the lights are all on and it's super bright, does that catch you off guard?
Yeah.
Yes, that's perceptual constancy. There's certain expectations that we expect. Okay. Bridge assault we did. Vestibular is body imbalance. So if you're a dancer or anything like that. Kinesthetic is your muscle movement and position, like baseball. You have to be really good at that. Hand-eye coordination. Kinetic is the awareness of skin and touch. The Muller-Lyer illusion is the arrow thing. When it's pointed in, when the ends are pointed in, it's super small. When it's pointed out, it looks bigger, but does the line change? No, it's just how we perceive it. Monocular cues we just did. Disparity is the difference between the eyes. Ames room illusion. That's the room where we had Zimbardo was standing there, and then it looked like he grew like 6 feet. Yes, remember the video? Okay, it's because of where the camera was at that happened. It's playing with all of our depth perception components that makes it look like it is actual growth. Top-down processing. I'm going to deal with that because they put in cognition. Perception is sensory input that is selected and interpreted. So sensation is getting all of the transduction, getting all that information to your brain. Perception is how you actually interpret all that. Moon illusion. I think we're good on that. We get it. Okay. Phi phenomenon is going to be with the lights. You do know when you have like flashing lights, the light isn't moving, right? Like it just goes on and off in a specific target and it just looks like it's moving. Linear perspective, overlap, perfect. Done. And the visual cliff. Who can explain to me what the visual cliff experiment is? What do you got, Jackson?
It was when the baby was on the table and there was like glass over it, it looked like it dropped off.
Okay, so what did we learn from it?
That perception is
Okay, and what does that mean? Yeah, everyone's born with it. So it's a way of a safety. It's a little bit of a protection. It's a checkerboard pattern underneath the glass. Keep that in mind. Small checker pattern, big checker patterns up top. Small checker patterns because the smaller it is, the further it is away. And that is that. Good. Nice. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, let's do it. On your whiteboard, please tell me what illusion is a line illusion with ends pointing out and in. No. Good. Oh, maybe yes. What is it, Patrick? Muller liar illusion. On your whiteboard, what is, please tell me which one is your sensation of skin. Like if you are highly ticklish, then you have a very high sense of what? Good. What is it? Valentino. Kinetic. On your whiteboard, if you are a beautiful ballerina and super graceful and can do all these crazy moves, what sense do you have the strongest? What do we got? T. If you've ever seen T kiteboarding, then that is also going to be included. Please tell me, what is a body balance and movement? Body balance and movement, so if you can dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. That was my example I wrote down. What is wrong with me? What is it? Gabriel. Vestibular. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is it called in times of crisis we no longer feel pain? It's like in the Goonies when Sloth held up the rock. So Chunk and all the guys could get through. Real hero, man. You don't know the Goonies? It's a great movie. Maybe we'll watch it after the exam. We got 3 weeks of nothing. What do you got, JR? Bengate. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask you some questions.
What week is?
This is 6 and 7.
No, but what week is it?
Oh, it's the 7th.
It's the first day.
First day, second exam.
Dang. But what week is it?
It's the 7th. April 7th.
Wait, what?
May 7th.
Well, I just go home after the I take the exam.
Wait. What?
Like, seniors come to your class after.
Oh, I have no idea. It's a new rule. There's a meeting today after school, so I don't know. They'll be talking about that.
Definitely. The last day is technically like in the middle of the second one. So.
I have no idea. All right, here we go. Number 1, please. Do not get freaked out by the language. Sit there, figure it out. Remember, AP uses 9 textbook. So the language may not be exactly how we describe it, but if you can sit there logically and figure it out. What is number 1? Let's see it. 3, 2, 1. What is it? Maddie? C. Why is it C?
Because even if it's not the cellular membrane, the cellular membrane is in.
Perfect. All right. 2. Five, 4, 3, 2. I have a lot of wrong answers. Turn and talk to your neighbor. I don't think I have a single person who's got it right. Turn and talk to your neighbor. Try to figure it out. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2. I have 4 answers right. 5. All right. The answer is what, Max? D. So, of the following, which bend incoming lights of rays? So, the cornea, yes, it does bend it. It does bend it. The iris, it's like it takes some light in. It bends other ones off. So, it's filtering in what you can see and what you can't. So, the iris does not filter any light. And your lens absolutely does. Everyone should have known that it's absolutely doing that. So the answer is D. Cornea and your lens are the ones filtering out lights. All right. I didn't like number 3, so we're going to go to number 4. . How much longer?
6 minutes.
5, 4, 3. I had to check the answers. 2. I didn't want to like read and think. 1. Show me what you got. A lot of you got some wrong, so turn to your neighbor and discuss it. Let's go. Sit there and figure it out. I appreciate that, but you gotta figure it out. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so aqueous humor and virtuous humor. Virtuous humor, whatever it is in the back of your eye. So if you squeeze out the eye, it's essentially the jelly part. The big ooshy gushy stuff. It's actually delicacy in some countries. The aqueous humor is in between your iris and your lens. It's that little bit of liquid in there, very, very little of it, but it allows like a little bit of fluidity, so it's not so rough with the muscle contracting all the time. So the answer is C. It goes cornea, aqueous humor, okay, cornea, aqueous humor, pupil, lens, and vitreous humor, which is everything from the lens back to here. It's what's going through here. Have you ever seen like little spots like floating in your vision?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it's because you moved too fast, you shook your head too violently, and you moved a lot of like the floaty goop in your vitreous humor, and that's what you're seeing. Don't shake your head purposely to do it. But yeah, like if you get up too fast, you moved it too fast, and it's just like you kind of get like these little specks. Kind of looks like little fairies are flying around.
When I was little, I could see ghosts.
God. All right, number 5. What?
What weeks are this test?
I don't know. Look at your damn scope and sequence. Your old one. It's on like 6, 7, 8. I don't know if it's all in order. Number 5. Five, 4, 3. Oh my God, we have so many wrong. I have 1 right. 2, 2 right. What is it, Morgan? Educate your peers. It's olfactory. That's why people snort drugs. There's no digestion. Like if you drink alcohol when you're 21, of course. I know you've never been tempted beforehand. But if you drink alcohol, it takes a little bit for it to get absorbed because you have to digest it. If you snort cocaine, you're high in like 5 minutes, like 3 or 5 minutes or something insane. Okay, Gabriel. Thank you so much for using your own experiences here. Here we go. Gabriel, we're good. Let's do number 14, please. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is what, Elijah? D. Retinal disparity. You're not staring at it from 2 meters away. Like you're staring at it from far away. What's what? Interposition is that like kind of layering. It's another way to say it. All right, let's do 15, please. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got a bunch wrong. Turn to your neighbor and check. Go. 5. Show me what you got. 5, 4, 3. Maya, what is it? Precognition. See. Perfect. All right, how much time do I have?
1 minute.
All right, I'm done. I can't. I just can't. I'm so hungry. I just can't even focus.
You want to go change into your shirt?
I know. I want to look like I have friends.